Kelly, congratulations on your new book, A Light Rising in the East.
Thank you.
And this is a fictional story, but it's near and dear to your heart. Tell me what inspired you to write it? Who'd you write it for?
Well, the truth is, I was bored. And I had written an earlier book during COVID where I reimagined the history of the first missionaries come to Thailand. We have no information or evidence that they came to Thailand, but they definitely came to Burma, Indonesia, and Vietnam. We've got evidence
The
for
region.
that. So I wanted to show Asian Christians that they have a history before the white man came.
Yeah.
That there were and these missionaries that went into to Southeast Asia and other places were not only Persians, but they were Chinese missionaries.
Incredible.
That made their way down into Thailand, Indonesia.
And that's what the book is based on, your studies, your research, and you wrote the book, and you've got some incredible endorsements. We want to get into that, but you're speaking everywhere, and depending on when you watch this, it's available everywhere now in hardcover, paperback, ebook, and then audiobook will be coming in 2026. You can grab it everywhere books are sold, depending on which country you are. But I love this because Jesus told the first apostles to go preach the gospel, make disciples in all the world, and they literally did that.
Yes.
Yes.
And there was actually a time for about 200 to 300 years where the church of the East was larger than the church in the West.
Yeah, incredible.
And again, people don't know this.
And the book really shares Christ in a story format, in the fiction form that could be a movie, A Light Rising in the East. But the subtitle is so amazing to me. Give that to the world.
Well, the subtitle is the story of the first Christian missionary to reach China. And it's based on an actual historical person.
Reverend Paul Hudson. Based on the life of the 6th century Persian missionary Alopen, Dr. Hilderbrand paints a wonderful narrative that carries the true essence of the forgotten story of early Christianity in Asia. A Light Rising in the East is an undertold missionary story sure to inspire your faith and even surprise you. This is a great gift here at the holidays and into the new year. It's a great stocking stuffer. I think you should buy one for your fraternity, for your sorority, for your book club, for your bowling league, for your Sunday school, because this is great missionary reading. And I think it's stories like this.
And it's got excitement, it's got danger,
It's got love.
it's got romance. It's got everything in there.
Wow.
My greatest hope is that Asian Christians, I want Western Christians to hear the story and be astonished by the fact of God's faithfulness to Asia. But also my primary heart and motivation for writing the story is so that Asians would know God has never abandoned them.
Yeah.
Because Christianity has been a part of Asia, it was a part of China, until it was almost fully suppressed in the 14th century. And then God brings in the Western missionaries. Wow. So there's never been a time when God has not had a witness in Asia. He's never abandoned Asia. Never abandoned Asia.
I think it's fascinating. How can somebody in the West that maybe has never left the U.S. and really, you're giving a different side of history that maybe they've never thought about before, and they've only seen Christianity through the lens of the American church. What will this book do for them?
I hope that they see that Christianity is not American Christianity. That there is an Asian Christianity, and I have found that in reading Scripture as a professor in a Thai seminary, Thai people can read the Bible and understand it and grasp it much more quickly and not misinterpret it a lot more quickly than can an American Christian, because their culture is so in line with biblical culture. While Western culture is much more materialistic. There's a basic, there's not an understanding of the poetic and dualistic, not dualistic in the sense of materialistic and spiritual, but in the way that they they see the world, that the spiritual and the physical are so interlinked. And Americans tend to separate that.
Yeah.
While in Asia, that's not the case, and that's
Americans
not the case in the
compartmentalize everything, right?
Yes.
And so it seems like it's about relationships here. It seems like it's about story.
Very much so.
It seems like it's about redemption is kind of the story arc of how they think.
I had somebody come back from America going to a church recently, and maybe I shouldn't say this, but they were shocked that people just went to church and went home. You don't do that in Asia.
No, you eat. You
eat. You fellowship, and then you spend the whole day together.
Yeah.
Because this is your family.
Yeah, it's a foreign concept.
And some people have given up their own family to be part of God's family.
Yeah.
And they sacrifice so much. And so their church family really is their family.
Their family, yeah. Well, in some countries where Christianity is so persecuted, we talked a little bit about in the green room, depending on what country you're from, your family is your church family, just like you said. That truly is your only family. And well, Kelly, I'm excited about the book. I want to have you back for a longer interview because I've got a lot of questions. And I think it's a groundbreaking book. I could see film potential here. And I want you to read it. I want you to grab it. I want you to share it with your family. This would be a great bedtime read for a family. This would be a great, if you're praying about the mission field and you're feeling called to missions, you need to read A Light Shining in the East. Dr. Kelly Hilderbrand, thank you so much for being on the Michael D. Show here in the Beyond Publishing studio. We're right here in Bangkok, where you've lived for years, and there are millions of Thai people here. Excited to hear this message, and you've impacted so many. Well, your story is based on a 6th century mythical figure from Persia.
That's not a mythical figure.
Oh, is it?
No, this is historic. This is based on an actual historical event that we have much evidence on.
Okay.
We do know who the first missionary was to China. We do know what happened. That Alopen, that's the English pronunciation of the name. Alopen actually is probably a Chinese version of the name Abraham.
Oh, I love that. Wow.
Came to China, and through his ministry in China and through what God did through him, the Christian church was accepted as an official religion of the Tang Dynasty for over 200 years.
Oh,
it was
wow.
supported. The Tang Dynasty built Christian temples, supported the appointment of priests and leaders and deacons. All that happened under the auspices of the Emperor of China.
Incredible. Well, that's eye-opening for a lot of people, myself included. So this was before Mao Zedong. This was hundreds of years before.
Many, yes.
Wow, incredible. So take us through the storyline, kind of without giving it away, right? The story arc here that you wrote, and I got to ask you this: as you're deciding what to unveil and what to keep hidden, how did this come to you? Did it come to you where you're writing at night and you just inspiration, or were you just staring at a blank page until you?
The truth is, this is a sequel. I wrote an earlier book during COVID because I was bored, and I wrote the story of a missionary coming to Thailand. For that, I do not have a whole lot of historical evidence, but I wanted to tell a story. And the main character has a brother whose name is Alopen, who becomes a soldier in the service of the Persian Shah and fighting the Romans, actually. And I tell kind of a side story of what happens to him, because I knew that Alopen was the name of the missionary who would eventually go to China. And so I end that book with Alopen maybe getting a call to China. And so the book opens with that, Alopen's call to go with some visitors you come to a bookseller's home near the monastery where he is at.
Yeah, which dives right into the Bangkok Book Show, where you'll be signing books this coming April here at the Convention Center. And so very, very excited about it. There's a lot of parallels here. The people of Thailand are beautiful people. There's 70 million Thai people, and I think 20 million or so living here in Bangkok. It's got war, it's got battles, it's got romance and love, and it's got this story of him feeling the call to come from Persia to reach people and minister the gospel.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's got the story of how people come to Christ, what that process is, what happens in their lives, how they were touched.
Wow.
There's a wonderful story about a young girl who's escaping possibly being sold into marriage to a bad man, and she escapes into the caravan with dressed as a young boy, and how she's rescued by the Christians, and that's one story that we look at, because you have the story of how Alopen travels through the Silk Road to China and all the things that happened. It wasn't a short journey. It was a major journey and major dangers along the way, and the people who travel with him and the people they pick up on the way.
It's available everywhere now books are sold, wherever you are in the world. Just ask for it by name. Go into your bookstore, go into your library, ask for it by name. It's available hardcover, paperback, ebook, and the audiobook.
I am on Facebook as Kelly Hilderbrand. I can be contacted that way. I've also got an email, and you can contact me via email. You can contact me via Messenger, through Facebook, and I will respond.
Have Dr. Kelly on your podcast. Have Dr. Kelly in your church. Your people will get closer to Jesus and have a new heart for the 1040 window, and maybe even some of the young people, and maybe even some of the older folks that thought they were going to retire may feel called back up to the mission field. So keep doing great work. You've got other books coming out, and I want to say congratulations. It's really an honor and a joy to be working with you at Beyond Publishing. And right here in Bangkok, in just a few months, you'll be signing books at the Convention Center and for A Light Rising in the East. Thanks for being with us on the Michael D. Show.
Thank you.
All right, Kelly.